And now Steve is going to be sticking around with us here for another segment. And Steve, what do you want to talk about in this second half hour here? This was your idea for your own segment.
Yeah, well, our podcast is Everything I Learned from Movies. For those that haven't heard it before, it's basically me and my wife, Izzy, who unfortunately can't be here today. She's out selling her wares. You can see some of them at untidyvenus.etsy.com. Yeah, basically, we talk about movies, obviously, and we love having guests. We usually try to get other podcasters and stuff on to talk about bad to questionable movies and some of the amazing things that are in the movies, and of course what we can learn from them, like valuable life lessons that come through horrible movies, like I don't know, Kickboxer or something like that.
Kickboxer, horrible Kickboxer.
Yeah, basically,
wow.
Our episodes drop every Tuesday. Our main episodes, usually on Fridays, we'll have like mini episodes that are usually like a new movie we've seen in theaters, or what's actually been happening the past couple of months. We've been lucking out and getting some great celebrity interviews. Like the first one was back in August, and it was one of my favorite actors of all time. It's funny you brought up the Mallrats quote in the last episode, because it was Sven-Ole Thorsen, who plays LaFours in
Oh
Mallrats.
my God.
He is the coolest motherfucker alive. Danish guy, grew up during the aftermath of World War II there in Denmark, was champion kickboxer and bodybuilder, world's strongest man in 1983, good friends with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he basically just kind of showed up to do like stunts and be like the big brooding guy in like a bunch of 80s and 90s action movies. But I remember him from a short-lived TV show from my childhood, Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, where he played Tank, and it was only on for like 1 year, I think, but fantastic. If you can find a bootleg version of it, check it out. It's ahead of its time. But yeah, we've had others like just recently, just the other day, we interviewed Bruce Spence. That episode should be playing, from Gyro Captain from Mad Max, but he's also been in like Star Wars Episode 3. He was the voice of Sauron in the extended cut of Return of the King. Dark City. You know him if you saw him. Like Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. He's one of the tall hunter guy, poacher.
He does a lot of he does a lot of heavy makeup like character work. Yeah, he was the mouth of Sauron in the extended Return of the King and whatnot. And he played, what were those? They looked like cactuses. Those aliens, those really tall aliens with the teeth.
Tion something Tion Mater, something like that. But yeah. He was he's been in like the Matrix. He was the train man. Like he's been in like every major Chronicles of Narnia. He was in that, apparently. I mean, all over the place. But yeah, we've had a couple others, like Dana Gould, comedian and creator of the show Stand Against Evil. He had a little interview with us. We actually have one coming up with S.S. Wilson, who the writer of Tremors and Short Circuit, and actually directed a couple of the Tremors sequels. Alexandra Paul from Baywatch. I mean, yeah, we just been really lucking out by just basically fanboying out, and they submit. But yeah, So but as far as Sam, I'm trying to think of like who else is about the show. But yeah, we've had like voice actors, a couple directors, like Johnny Martin with Nicolas Cage and Al Pacino this past year on some of their kind of straight to DVD movies, but it's great stuff. But of course, with our interviews, we try to get to know how they grew up, how they got into acting, how their careers have kind of gone. I kind of like that. That's more like second tier kind of stars, like supporting people, because it's always curious, like they have to really work to get the jobs, and so it's like curious, like how do you, it's all like meeting people and kind of getting into different things and expanding, and it's not just like, I was in Hunger Games when I was 18. I've been a star ever since, But maybe those ones will come up later. But yeah, for our segment, with it being everything I learned from movies, I thought we'd open up to some people that may be sitting in the off the air room or something, just kind of curious what they've learned from movies over the years. Like as children, I know, like for myself, Ghostbusters was a huge movie for me growing up as a kid, and it's kind of filtered on into my adult life where basically if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say, and just stuff like that.
Oh.
Nick, any movies from your childhood that you, I don't know, either quote on a daily basis or just have taught you lessons that have helped you as an adult?
Thank you very much for your test donation, Leo and Kitty at Afterburn 739 with a $7.39 donation. We also had another one in there from I gotta refresh here. It was from Interrupted Tales when we guessed the Groundhog Day. According to the website Wolf Nerds, Phil was trapped for 8 years, 8 months, and 16 days. There's a lot of different. Some people have a lot of time on their hands, more time than I have on my hands, to try to calculate how long Bill Murray was actually trapped in there. But Justin, what?
Oh, nice.
I mean, you more so than even me. You still have a huge affinity for a lot of films that you first saw when you were younger. What would you say you've learned from some of those movies?
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be something that I've learned, but it's affected me ever since I was a young boy. And it's actually a movie that you were just referencing with the movie quote trivia, and that's Steven Spielberg's Jaws. I know many people. It was a huge culturally impacting movie where it wasn't safe to go in the water anymore after that film came out. And I was one of those kids that when they were showing it, it was like 4th of July weekend on the USA Network when I watched it, and I literally scared the shit out of me. And to this day, I still won't actually swim in the ocean. Like I'll go out a little bit, but then I always, in the back of my head, remember that, sharks like to come in shallow water anyway. So I love the ocean. I love the beach. Unlike you, Nick, who I know you're not a big fan of it. But even though it's one of my favorite movies of all time, it still has that effect on me. When I was a kid and we had to go swimming in the pool, I know I've seen this meme floating around lately where you see a shark's head in the pool. That's what I thought. Like that's how internally that movie affected my mindset about being in the water, is that there's something underneath there that's going to get me. So what I learned was, I guess, not to fuck with wildlife in the water. But it's just something that, in my psyche, it's always there. Like no matter what, I'll always think when I'm in the water, something can be in the water.
I always see periodically the thing pops up to watch Jaws floating in a pond at night on an inner tube.
I really want to do that. I wish that they were doing that closer to us. I know the Alamo does it in Texas. It's a huge deal. And they have people actually, Loy Sauce was telling me they have divers going underneath the people swimming, like, and to pull you down and like poke at you and scare you.
Fuck out,
dude. That's what I'm saying, man. I didn't realize they did that, which makes me want to go and experience it even more. But
I would lose my shit, dude. Like, I don't even, dude. No, never, ever in a million years, I would die. Oh,
imagine you're about to sip your beer and then all of a sudden someone tugs on your leg and you like spill it all over your fucking face. Oh my god!
No. Do not sign me up for that. I see, for me, like, I mean, I think Ghostbusters is probably a really, really good example in talking about movies that I still think about, like, even to this day. Or maybe movies like I don't know, like, I just went to a empty place in my head for a moment there. Or a movie like, say, Spaceballs. Or something like that. What did I just hear? Was that?
Oh, sorry, that might have been me. I was saying, Spaceballs is a good one.
Spaceballs is a great movie, and I struggle to think of what I've learned from it or anything like that, but I could say for certainty that, like, I don't know. I don't think I've learned anything from it.
You learned that you were entertained and you love it.
This was a tough brief for me. I don't know. Maybe I didn't learn anything from anything. You know what I learned? Huh. You know what I learned from college, from studying film, was that I like well-developed characters.
Well, that's good. That's one way of doing it. I learned no such thing in my trials through the years. I took a survey of cinema class once in high school, I think it was, which is like, oh yeah, watching movies, totally. And that was like the first time I watched Citizen Kane and like some of the like Casablanca and some of those movies, and it was like, oh, okay, I kind of like Face Off more. It's more entertaining.
I could be in the mood for both. Depends on the day. Really
yeah,
depends on the day.
That was kind of it, you know.
I think I learned a valuable lesson.
I'm actually trying to make a donation here on livestreamforthecure.com, but it's not going through for some reason. I can't figure out why.
Yeah. We did just get another donation in there from Tommy from the Miserable Retail Slave, who joined us yesterday to kick off the event. $20 donation. Thank you very, very much, Tommy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Miserable Retail Slave was amazing. Loved you guys. Thank you very much for opening up the event for us. You guys were awesome.
Oh, and I almost forgot to mention. Oh my gosh, how did this happen? If you donate during my little half-hour segment here while we're shooting the shit and talking about what we learned for movies, if you donate $20 or more, you can pick a print from Izzy's Etsy page at untidyvenus.etsy.com. And if you donate $100, you get to pick one of our upcoming episodes. Yeah?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's a great perk, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll be right back, Justin.
All right, sounds good. Can you hear me all right on here? Am I on here? Hello. Nothing. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Steve, are you still there?
Yeah. Sorry. I was.
Can you hear Justin?
I don't know if I got. I don't hear Justin. No.
Justin, speak.
Speak. I'm talking here.
Not even a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Did you mute yourself on Discord, Justin?
Am I muted? No? Okay.
Speak.
Hey, I hear him now.
There he is. Okay.
What did you do?
Justin, you just need to be muted on up here. All right, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got you. I just kind of heard Nick's reaction to it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, they must be got a different channel or something."
Growing up as a kid and you watch movies, and for the most part, I didn't, at least. I never walked away like totally disappointed. I don't remember ever being a kid and like hating a movie outright. Like maybe I thought it wasn't for me, but I don't remember walking out of a theater being disappointed by anything really. That's just from my experiences. But in my 20s, when book movie boom was first beginning, and I was really excited about each individual one and seeing these heroes jump onto the big screen, I got to this point where I didn't think any of them could be awful. Where some of them weren't that great, but like, okay, they're at least enjoyable. And I gave them each a valuable open shot, and down to the first time I was really disappointed in one of them. And it could have been either one of the other first, but I think it was probably Spider-Man 3. When I learned from that experience that not every one of these is going to be good, and you have to really keep your expectations in check, and for better or for worse, probably go in with very few expectations. So that way you're not going to be disappointed. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else, but for me, because I would always walk into these things thinking, hey, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the movie that I'm hoping it's going to be. And at that experience, I walked out of the cinema extremely disappointed, extremely angry and sad. And I felt like I had been raped because of that movie. I've been violated by Sam Raimi. How could this happen? How could this be true? You know, and then after that, X-Men 3 and a number of other movies, I kind of, that's where I learned from watching movies that they're not all going to be what we expect and what we hope for.
Yeah, my first experience with that was actually Batman and Robin in theaters as I think it was like 15 or 16 at the time. Yep. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is really bad.
I saw it because I had seen I've seen every single Batman movie since '89 opening night in theaters. And I remember with that when I was 14, so I wasn't that far off from you. I don't know if I was just like already past the whole thing at that point where I just didn't care paying attention, but I could definitely see that one as being a huge disappointment.
Yeah. Oh goodness. But came back around with the Christopher Nolan trilogy and everything. Yeah, good stuff. Quick question. Who was your first on-screen crush when you were a kid?
I don't think it was in a movie. Well, hold on. Let me think for a minute. From a movie, it would probably definitely be still my biggest movie crush of all time. And hey, we're talking about Batman. It's Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman in Tim Burton's Batman Returns. I adore her portrayal of the character. I adore her as a performer, and she's just so sultry and sexy in that movie. And I was like, 10 or something at the time when that came out. So, but I did have a big crush on television, and that was, of course, most everyone's crush at the time, and that was Tiffany Amber Thiessen as Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell. I think that was the first one where I actually had her poster on my wall as a kid.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Jeez. The first on-screen crush I really had was Elizabeth Shue, but actually from the Karate Kid, not Adventures in Babysitting like everyone would think. It was Karate Kid.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just she's just a cute, sweet girl that wears sweaters and all that stuff. But then Adventures Babysitting rolled around and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's really hot. Nice.
She's still amazing too, but I mean,
oh, absolutely. But if you're listening to this, I've been reaching out to you for an interview, so no, hit me up.
Amazing, dude. That would be amazing.
I have so many questions, mostly about Hamlet 2, and no, I don't know. Maybe Hollow Man.
Oh God, Hollow Man. I saw that in theaters as well. See, that's the thing. I have this memory bank where I can't remember anything else in life except for movies that I've seen in the theater, which is a lot of movies. So people will mention some movie or they're calling some movie a piece of crap, and I'll be like, I actually saw that in theaters, and I remember exactly when. And I love that. But I love that you can connect memories to movies. For example, I remember the weekend of episode 1 when everyone was hyped about it and everyone was waiting in line at the theater. Going to that movie like 3 days in a row, seeing it 3 times. I remember those days like they were yesterday, like being that age, being that kid. And that's the way it is with most movies for me. I can remember pretty much the whole day surrounding going to that movie. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like other things I've learned from movies growing up, and one of the VHS tapes we had growing up that I've probably seen 1,000 times was Revenge of the Nerds, and
yes,
as when you got someone talking earlier about movies that can't be made nowadays, it's like Revenge of the Nerds is probably up there too. There's a lot of I mean, it's not just like finding out that Mopri is exposing herself to a blind person. It's a lot of unwarranted surveillance of co-eds and various sororities. And let's face it, the major love interest in the movie comes about via rape.
Yeah, most definitely. It's funny you mentioned that because I was just watching the movie, like on one of my breaks at work. I go on the treadmill sometimes there just because I'm bored, and it was on AMC or something, and I was watching it, and that scene actually came on. I was like, "Whoa, dude!" So many movies from my favorite era of film, which is the '80s, are so politically incorrect, and like something like that. I'm like, "Wow!" It dawned on me. I'm like, "Dude, this chick's being raped. This is awful." But as a kid, when you watch it, you don't even connect the dots at all.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, ha, 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 it's a trick. It's like, oh wait, no, there's more to it.
Definitely. It's weird. It's weird to think that about how films used to be so politically incorrect, but now I don't know what your opinion on that is. I feel like sometimes people are still a little too sensitive with stuff in movies, but
yeah, I agree. Like I mean, trying to think of like something recent where it was just like, oh come on. But but yeah, going back to like 80s stuff, it's like, oh okay, I can see where that's a little over the top, and but nowadays it's mostly just like, oh, they didn't use the politically correct term, keeping it as vague as possible. It's just that I don't know.
I think
like the R word. I don't know. It's
right?
I if it offends somebody, it offends somebody. But thank you for agreeing with me. That random applause.
Steve, I'm sorry I had to step away for a few minutes to take care of a couple things, but thank you very, very much for your huge $100 donation, bringing us up just under $2,400. We're at just about 48%, so close to halfway there, guys. Over in the chat, let's get there. I'll tell you what, Epic Film Guys stickers for the next 3 donos. Epic Film Guys stickers for the next 3 donations of $5 or more. Go ahead and throw them in there. We're going to get you some stickers. So
remember, if you do in the next 6 minutes, $20 or more, you get a print too, and Izzy does some amazingly adorable stuff.
Right now, Steve.
Again, untidyvenus.etsy.com. Check it out.
I don't know where you guys were exactly in your conversation or anything like that. But before you run out of here, because you're almost out of here, but I also know, and I don't know if Justin and you got the chance to talk about this, but you're a huge fan of craft beer, like a huge fan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Beer. How could I miss that when we were talking about our podcast? I mean, we're home brewers, not as much as used to be, just because of space constraints in our apartment here in the Bay Area. But I've actually got a couple beers here, a little Sierra Nevada Old Chico Pale Bock.
Wait, I gotta ask you then. I gotta ask you, what are you drinking?
I'm back. Puke and rally. Give me a beer.
Now tell me what you're drinking.
Oh yeah, sorry. Fresh out of Chico, California, we have Sierra Nevada Brewing's Old Chico Pale Bock. Their I guess their spring release. We were just up there for the Sierra Nevada summer camp, where they had some amazing adult camp activities going on. Like they had all kinds of like keg bowling and like arts and crafts, and like they had like a zip line and stuff you could do, just all kinds of things, and of course plenty of beer to keep you hydrated, I guess. But yeah, Old Chico Pale Bock. Yeah, jingle my keys out here real quick to open it. This brisk Saturday morning.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're on the West Coast, so it's a little bit earlier there for you than it is for us.
It's 11 o'clock. It's I ain't going to work today, so
there you go. Nice. That's the proper way of thinking.
Indeed. Yeah, nice smooth malt forward. I mean, it's a box, so it's nice, smooth, all day drinking kind of beer. What is this? About 6% probably. 6.8. There we go.
Nice.
Starting it off good.
Ooh.
Say the other beer I've got here for later when I'm just enjoying the live stream is one of our brews we did that was a barrel-aged Imperial Stout. And it's around 13%, which is pretty good.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's like drinking velvet. And then there's a little burn afterwards because you realize, oh, it's 13%, but it's like drinking velvet dipped in whiskey. It's good stuff. And we call it our birthday cake because we make it around my birthday every year.
I am pouring myself another glass of my Cascade IPA for the cure, which I bottled in these Strongbow cider bottles because they were what I had available.
Nice.
Wondering about that, but
now
I know.
This I'm still drinking this. This turned out really, really fantastic. Justin, you got anything guzzling down your gullet yet this afternoon?
I do. I am drinking a Starbucks iced coffee, 4 pump classics of syrup and light cream with a shot of espresso. Nice. I can't this early, not yet, man. I got some other half beers in the fridge still.
Just because Steve was on. I know, like, you and your wife both are huge into craft beer, and you guys have actually judged like craft beer competitions and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we're BJCP certified judges. Yeah. Couple competitions here and there, usually with the homebrew stuff. So, some good stuff, some stuff that leaves you gassy the rest of the day. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and just the beer community in general, just some of the nicest people around. It's very similar to the podcast community where everybody's willing to help out and give tips and, help out when, well, for example, you can't hear other people that are on the same podcast because of their equipment difficulties. But
wah, 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 wah.
That was my fault. I should have said something. I was just like, oh, maybe it's just on another channel.
I didn't know you couldn't hear him the whole time. Like, yeah. I was just like... I blame Justin.
I'm sure it was great stories, though. I'm sure
you can definitely blame me.
Him and his Starbucks, damn it. Him and his damn Starbucks. Well,
I'm only allowed to get it on the weekends, all right? Cut me some slack.
Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations on winning movie quote trivia. I've got your Infinity War poster. We'll get that out to you very, very soon. You're amazing, dude. Thank you very, very, very much for joining us, and please enjoy the rest of the event. And dude, you're awesome. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. Hopefully gonna crush this goal you guys have, and fuck cancer. Woo!
Oh, crush it. We are going to.